Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Often a woman will just like a man. You know what? This is the saddest thing I see out here with a lot of cats. A whole lot of cats. I mean, you have that's basically every significant portion of men in these spaces where they're looking for some type of game. And I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say that. Now, somebody would say, well, why would you say something like that? Because it could hurt your business. But no, it ain't. I write fiction and nonfiction novels. I can always find something to do. And I've always said I'm trying to put myself out of business. So I'm trying to help people that way. I want people to be helped to the point where I don't need to do this. But I have to be real. I got to be 100% on everything. I got to be a buck on everything. Now, see, we got all this talk about, game. We got this talk about looks, money, and status. We got all this stuff, and dudes are seriously sitting thinking about, what can I do to get a woman? What can I do? You know what? Sometimes a woman she just click with a guy. She meet a guy, she just like him. Ain't no science to it. People be trying to find all this scientific stuff, questionable studies. And I'm gonna say questionable because if you look up studies, let me hit that real quick. I was looking up studies on what women like in a man's body physically, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going with my own experience because you'll get the ones that say they like muscles, but then you get another one say they like chubby. You get another one that says they like dad bods. You get it really because scientifically. It doesn't constitute real evidence. Any real scientific something, you can replicate that. You could do the experiment in D.C. and then replicate it in Shanghai. That's real objective. Everything is subjective. So you can't even go by that. But then the fact is people trying to figure it out like it's some holy grail. You know, every now and then I get somebody hit me up and say, well, what can I say to a woman? And it'll drive her crazy. And, you can give them something. But there's always a woman it doesn't work on. And sometimes dudes get so caught up in trying to learn some trick or trying to learn some shortcut or figure out what to do or say, I got to improve my looks and improve their money and status, all of which ain't bad things. But then at the end of the day, you get some women, they just meet somebody and just click with them, and the dude might not look like all that. Might not have any money or status, but the women just like him. And that actually happens a lot. Like I've talked a few weeks ago, I'll consistently talk about average looking guys or even ugly guys getting a woman. And dudes can't figure it out. But I've actually talked to some women who've dealt with guys who weren't even their optimal. Like one woman, a few women, I can't even say one woman. I've known quite a few women. They'll say, Rom, they hooked up with somebody, but it wasn't their type. Because usually I'm cool with a lot of women. I'm cool because they tell me stuff and I figure I formulate stuff. And like I said I said it in some video. I said, look, you don't have to try. It's kind of dumb to try to have sex with every woman in your orbit. Shit. If you're thinking in terms of money, you're talking about somebody who can help you out. And I've had several women help me make money. So that's another video. But they will talk, you talk to them and they'll tell you what their type is. I'm like, okay, cool. And it's usually somebody, the usual tall, dark, handsome, depending on their race, long hair, whatever, tats, all of that. But then they'll hit me up, say, Ron, hey, and it's always the same thing. Hey, I had sex with this guy, or they crying over the guy too. They ain't even just say had sex over, they crying over the guy. I'm like, damn, what happened? Well, I hooked up with this guy. I was like, oh, okay. And I used to say, oh, he must have been that type you wanted. He'd be like, no, he's the total opposite. Like I know one woman, she'll say she like long hair, muscular body types, but she got with some fat dude and was crying over him. I've known a couple like that, or they get with somebody, or they say, well, we ain't getting with a guy that's much older than me, and then they call up. What happened? They got with this old dude. You be seeing all of this, but you know what it is? Usually, I'm going to tell you what. Usually, it's just a situation. They probably working. They have a chance to know the person. Because ultimately, yes, women are visual. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, they like a good-looking guy. Yeah, they like a muscular guy. I tell you as much. Yeah, money will influence the woman depending on how much hoe she got in her. Yeah, status definitely influences some women. Yeah, women, you can have some proactive game and get a woman. But sometimes they just around somebody, they just like the dude. And it's usually the situation is usually it's usually a work situation. That's how like a lot of those workplace marriages happen. Like a woman, she working with somebody, and it's like might not be somebody that she would like even look at on the street. But when you in that situation, you want a job or something, you get a chance to know somebody, you see another side of them. Because ultimately, with all women, it's about how they feel. It's about their gratification. Now, usually when they look at a guy who's tall, handsome, muscular, might be pushing that E class, they find out he's a professional or something, they might go for him, but see, understand what they're going for. They're going for gratification, and they assume this guy will bring them gratification. Because that's the key to understanding women. They looking for gratification. They looking to be romantically intoxicated. So they expect the intoxication from a guy. But see, what if they want a job with somebody and he doesn't do anything for them physically at first, but the guy doesn't do anything to turn them off? See, that's the key right there. A lot of guys might be in that situation. They'll go for the woman. That turns a woman off. The key to a woman in that situation is just be you. And if you be you, that means you're not going to put her on a pedestal. You're not going to put her on a pedestal or try to say, oh, she's this or that. You're going to treat her normal. And best of all, you're not going to put on a mask. So she's going to see you whatever. And sometimes often women will like a guy just doing that. And see, once a woman starts kind of liking a guy as a person, all of a sudden, whatever physical thing that she not attracted to starts looking better. Especially if that guy makes her laugh, especially if that guy makes her feel good, especially if that guy is cool with her. Sometimes she just gonna like him. She gonna be like, you know what, this is a good dude right here. And then she started thinking about it. And then if the dude's smart, been listening to Rom, he pick up on some stuff. And in fact, she might be the one to make the move. She started looking. That's what happens a lot. A lot of times, a woman start looking. Okay, let me stop. Let me back up a bit. In general, women make that choice in 5 seconds of meeting a man. In general. But see, this thing is an art. It's not a science. There's always exceptions and things going to go different. Sometimes a woman will see a guy and that's not her original choice. Now, if he try to change her mind, she pretty much going to stick with that choice. He's non-select. But sometimes she meet a guy and the guy ain't trying to get with her. And she might say, oh, yeah, I couldn't date this guy, to herself. And the guy's oblivious, but he just do his thing. But she sees different parts of his personality. They get cool with each other. She learned to laugh with him. All of a sudden, she started changing her mind. A lot of women second guess themselves. And just I'm going to give y'all some game on that. Any men thinking, oh, okay, I'll just hang in there. No, the key to doing that is don't try. Just be yourself. Let her figure it out. You just put it. And I've done that with some women. They met me and we just didn't click because I'm the type, I was kind of crude. I'm a little bit better now, but I don't try to impress a woman. So whatever I am, she sees. And plenty don't like it at first, but then I just stay me. Because in seeing my bad side, they also see my good side. And a lot of guys should think that way. Don't be pressed to get with the woman. And then she got time, she's seeing you, and all of a sudden, it's like, wow, this is a good dude right here. And then it leads to more. And, and ultimately, I think a lot of guys should just say, look, just be your best self. Just be your best self. The shit will take care of itself. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you later. Peace.